in alphabetical order. Hoffmann was quite a ways down the list, though I knew that the distance from A to H could shrink surprisingly quickly during holidays. I didn't turn the phone off because Celine occasionally dropped by on a soccer night. One of her most attractive qualities was that she always phoned ahead of time. She, too, was single and shared my respect for privacy. As an added bonus, she occasionally picked up a pizza or Chinese takeout on her way over. Celine, unlike me, was a true soccer fan. She leapt up from the couch at every goal, miss, or foul, and needed me to serve as the audience for her running commentary. She'd been known to get carried away and not pay the least bit of attention to what she looked like while she watched. Her short skirt sometimes rose up, offering a tantalizing glimpse of her ass, or her blouse might slip open, giving me a clear view of her perky little breasts. It was, of course, ridiculous for me to leer at her like that, since we generally ended our TV-watching nights rolling around on the carpet or in bed, but I found it more fun to watch her than what was on the screen. "The ball is round," legendary soccer coach Sepp Herberger once said, my favorite profound analysis of the game. So was Celine's ass, and luscious, too. The national anthems had played, the team's ends of the field were determined, and only 5 minutes into the game our boys had conceded the first goal. Good God, we'd even replaced the team captain. When the phone rang 3 minutes later, I was already debating whether I was in the mood for pepperoni pizza or pork with bamboo shoots. But it wasn't Celine. It was the clinic. They needed me on the night shift. How'd they get to H so fast? Aha, a Bram chick had called in sick, and it turned out the rest were on vacation or simply hadn't picked up. What idiot would answer the phone during Germany's first game in the final round? I was tempted to use my standard lie, "My brother isn't home," which was the way I'd handled this type of situation in the early days of my residency, but the folks at the clinic have long since figured out that I'm an only child. Another fail-proof line that I'd been quite pleased with for a while. "Sure, I'll be right there, but I've had 3 beers," had opened me up to speculations of alcoholism. If I played that card now, I'd probably never have another emergency night shift slapped on me, but I'd also be definitively written off as a boozer. So much for pepperoni pizza and Celine's luscious ass and perky breasts on the rug in overtime. I didn't bother to brush my teeth or shave, and I dawdled, in silent protest against my fate and my stupidity at having picked up the phone. When the phone rang a second time, I didn't even answer it. Whatever Celine had to say would only fuel my anger. I got to the ER at about 6:45. I'd only been on duty for 5 minutes when the paramedics arrived with the first case of the night. It was Misha, the Russian. Misha's skin looked yellow, and Misha was dead. The ER of a teaching hospital, such as the one I'd had the honor to work in for the last 8 years, was the eye of the needle patients had to squeeze through if they wanted urgent admission to our top-notch hospitals. It made no difference whether a patient came in on his own or was admitted by his family doctor. In the former case, his odds were sometimes better. Every clinician knew that doctors in private practice were, in their free time, specialists in real estate funds with high loss allocations, experts in tax avoidance schemes in Liechtenstein, and well-versed in the latest get-rich-quick schemes, but decidedly less knowledgeable about their patients. They either admitted them much too late, after mucking around with the wrong diagnosis until the patient was as good as dead, or else they sent in perfectly healthy people with an abnormal ECG, or because my lab has no idea what's going on. More likely a golf tournament had their name on it. Some people do not want to be admitted to our top-rated hospitals. They've been tipped off that you don't have to wait for hours in the admitting room when you come in at night. They've learned that problem cases will be seen by 5 different specialists, that they'll get a real ECG and a pile of lab results, and even get X-rayed as a bonus, all within an hour or 2 of walking in the door. In private practice, such a rigorous battery of tests would take several stressful weeks, dozens of annoying phone calls, and countless hours reading dull magazines in generic waiting rooms. I'd changed out of my clothes in the doctor's room and stashed them in my locker, along with my hopes for a relaxing evening.